Hey everyone, Bryan here again with another episode of the Driveway Marketing Podcast. It has been a fun time since the last time I had a chance to share with you. It's been a little long. We've been trying to get guests. And surprisingly so, they don't show up sometimes. And sometimes we have technology problems and other things that are getting in the way. So why do I share that? Because we just had an amazing experience. Here it is, early summer in beautiful Naples, Florida in June of 2025. And over the last couple of weeks, we just finished what is really our third mastermind group, but our second one with a combined group with my wife, Pam, who runs the Luxury Client Academy. We decided to combine forces and create two parallel experiences. And I want to talk to you why being in masterminds that have different industries is really interesting, and why having people that follow a common thread. For example, a lot of people in my group are Dan Kennedy people, and most of them were clients and colleagues. But why should we think about masterminds as this incredible way to really change the projection of your business? So I want to talk about having two different groups together. So my wife, Pam, runs the Luxury Client Academy and had a group of her folks in who are interior design business owners. She's an expert in the field. We're blessed to have an amazing business, and part of her goal is to get out of the day-to-day work of design and, just like me, trying to spend some of our time helping people get to where they want to go, because we all have roadblocks. We all have things in the way. And sometimes we need an independent perspective. And so she's doing a great job and has amazing clients in that group, and they support each other, and it's fun watching them grow. A lot of them I know personally because I've spent some time with them over the last couple of years, and it's great seeing them. And then my group was really a diverse group. A lot of clients came into town, and a few others, as well as my son, Sean, joining the group for basically 2.5 days. And people are like, man, it must be nice to spend 2.5 days out of the office. And I'm going to tell you, if you can't spend 2.5 days out of the office, then you need to stop everything and get a hold of me through the Driveway Marketing Podcast website. And let's talk about why you can't. There really is no reason why any business owner today can't spend a few days working on the business instead of in the business. And although it may hurt a little bit in the short term, as in, things might fall through the cracks, in the long term, it's better. Now, I have a confession to make. Our mastermind was 2 weeks ago. And then last week, I spent 5 days with my oldest son traipsing around Springfield, Missouri, watching him doing his umpire thing. And I did have to work. And the reason why I did is because I was out completely for the previous 4 days. And so being gone for 2 weeks without some planning, I had to kind of check in the office. The good news is it was really just some course corrections, some minor stuff. And then I wanted to keep the boat moving, right? So we always talk about, does this make the boat go faster? But I digress. Having masterminds. So you've heard me talk countlessly about why masterminds are important. I'm a member of a mastermind that I pay to go to. We are all in different industries, right? So that's important. I run my mastermind. We call it Marketing in Paradise. We are all in different industries, but a lot of us have a similar philosophy. Pam's group is design specific, and that's changing over time to be more people that are probably in the business that they're in similar, and you're going to see some overlap. Why do some people want you to be in one versus the other? Well, if you are in a group where you are mentor-led, and let's just say you wanted to run an agency or you wanted to build a virtual business, how could you do that? Then I could have a group of people that were less than me, quote unquote, less experienced to me. That's a better word to use. That could be a part of the program to learn to ascend to that person's stature, right? So I looked at joining a group that was focused solely on marketing agencies. I didn't join it because, one, I don't create marketing agencies. I create systems and processes that other people run that help our customers have more conversations. What do? We reach out and touch them in lots of different ways. So I didn't want to be pigeonholed into the ideal idea that we had an agency, right? We just do things to help people get stuff done. And I like the idea that you are surrounded by peers who run different businesses of different sizes and scale. So as of this writing, our team has 19 people on the staff between US and remote. And so other than two of my clients, that's as big as they get. Some of them, one customer has, I think, a couple hundred team members, and another one probably has close to 40. I don't even know the number, but it's quite a bit. So when you come together and you are hanging out with people that have similar issues, right? Once you have 3 employees, 4 employees, you have a lot of similar issues. What do you have? You have payroll, you have personalities, you have planning, you have cash flow, right? So those are all important. And in a mastermind environment, that's something you get to talk about, right? One of the topics that's been happening more lately than ever is acquisition and disposition of the business, right? What do you do to create what's next for the business? And if you had asked me 5 years ago, I couldn't tell you what's next for the business. What I can tell you now is that we are actively looking at, can we be in acquisition mode, right? Can we acquire other struggling smaller agencies who don't have leverage and scale with systems that repeat themselves? And quite honestly, they don't have any way to reach out and touch people because they're relying on single channels such as digital or ads or other things. And so while we rely on all things that help our clients succeed, we don't rely on one single channel. So it's fun being around other people that are thinking that way. So why do I talk about Pam's group? Why is it important that they're all designers in the design business? Well, quite honestly, that industry, they're not as coached as others. There are coaches in the industry, and I'm sure they're all fantastic. They all have their thing. And each person's experience level is really different. It really is it's the idea that I can grow the business, do amazing things, and learn in amazing ways. And I can tell you, even though Pam and I had our people here for the same time. Now, what was cool was we had the pre-day meal together. We had happy hour together. Then some of us went to dinner, some of us didn't. We had our evening together. We went all day on our separate ways. At the end of the day, we went out and celebrated. We did a sunset cruise. A group of us on the second day or third day went and had a beachfront, happy hour thing. So breaking bread is really an important part of building long-term relationships with other types of business owners. So it was great getting a perspective of, what's it like to run a small business that does X or Y or Z? It doesn't matter, but it's just being around people who are willing to be open and honest about learning how to take your ideas and take common criticisms and do different things. And myself too, this is my peer group, right? So what do? I ask questions, could you help me? And I thought that was fantastic. Now, if you are running a mastermind and you are the expert, you're certainly not going to be doing that. But in my group, it was a peer group, so it was great. And quite honestly, I had a bunch of my customers there, and I was completely comfortable with saying, here's what we're good at, here's what we're not, and here's what we're thinking. What do you think about this? And it allowed all of us to have meaningful conversations that we never had thought about before. So what an incredible experience. And on a personal note, my youngest son, Sean, who you haven't heard much about, he came and joined us, and he is a part of our content repurposing program. And we're building that, quite honestly, so that he can contribute and learn. He has a degree in animation from the University of Florida. So if any listeners need some animation, please reach out to me. We'll connect you up. But we are creating what we call the blue ocean for him. We're taking content, repurposing that, and seeing how we can not just use motion video like you'll see on my social accounts or other accounts we're working with, but also how to add animation to the deliverable in the business. And quite honestly, we had some pretty strong reactions. Some people didn't like it. Some people did. And you know what? As long as it's different, that's all that matters. When everyone in marketing is doing the same thing and you decide to do the same thing, I'm going to tell you, run the other way. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. Run the other way. I laugh. I've been doing mail for years and shock and awe boxes and reaching out and touching people and calling them and texting them and doing what's ever appropriate for your channel. And now the gurus are saying, direct mail is the only way to get through the clutter, which I find hilarious because we've been saying that for years and years and years. Now, again, direct mail is expensive, so you can't spend $50 guessing and testing. You have to really have highly targeted people. So if you want to find some highly targeted prospects, just let me know. I got a guy. Oh, no, wait. I got a whole team. They spend their days looking for those perfect future customers so that you can reach out and touch them. So anyway, masterminds. They are fantastic. They are great. Get involved with them. It's not about networking. Do not go into these intending that they're customer acquisition strategy things. There are some people I know that do that. And while I understand it and it can be beneficial, and quite honestly, I've gotten a number of great clients that way, but I got to tell you, they become clients because we have like-minded strategies and we implement very similar ways. So that's where you're going to do it. And then be open and honest about, you may not have the right answer. You may be missing things because of blind spots. You may be missing things because you're not seeing things, or you just might be stubborn. And that's the way it is. But the other side of that, and I told this to Sean, you can listen to what people have to say. You don't have to agree with it, but all you have to do is say, thank you. I'll think about that. Some people want to come in and solve your problem, but I think the most valuable mastermind experiences are when you're a bit vulnerable, kind of scary, and when you have an opportunity to think and get different perspectives that you had not seen before. And that's what makes masterminds powerful. It's the power of multiple minds. It's the power of multiple people all wanting to serve the same purpose, which is helping others succeed. So if you're not in a mastermind, get one. If you don't know what to do, start your own. Get a peer group. Just start talking on a regular basis. I can tell you, I have a group of people that 4 of the folks that came to the group, or 3 of them, we have been masterminding together for over 10 years, every 2 weeks. And a couple of them I talk to even more often than that. So masterminds are incredibly powerful. But to be honest, when you stroke that check, you take it a whole lot more seriously. So anyway, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Driveway Marketing Podcast. Get your butt in a mastermind, and we will talk to you soon.